Hello, Facebook and Instagram friends from Austin Dental Spa here in Austin, Texas. I don't usually start my Wisdom Wednesdays with a mask on, especially since I'm socially distanced from anybody else in the office. But in honor of the new Omicron variant that is rampaging through the world right now, I thought I'd start off with a little prop. In fact, I got several props here. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had great holidays, and we get rewarded by starting the new year off with all these scare tactics that are coming up again about this new variant. And just like 2 years ago, my response to all that is do what you can about what you are in control of. And one thing that you are in control of is who you're around, what situation you choose to put yourself in, and whether you boost your immune system or not. Those are two things that you're in total control of. And so we're going to do a little refresher course in boosting your immune system. And there's really only 3 things you need to do. All of them you can buy at your local grocery store. If it's one of the big chains, I buy mine right over at Randall's across the parking lot. And it's not even one of the big superstore Randall's, but they have vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc in supplement form. I'm going to tell you how you can expose yourself to those 3 things in a natural form if you don't want to do the supplement routine. But they're all 3 really important. All 3 have been proven over and over again in multiple papers way before coronavirus was even a term, that they boost your immune system. That's why they've been so important. I was fortunate enough to, for several years, attend a seminar every year in Bandera, Texas, that Emmanuel Charaskin, he was an MD, a DDS, and a PhD. And he wrote a book about that thick on vitamin C back in the 70s that is still the Bible on vitamin C. He spent the last 30, 40 years of his life doing research paper after research paper after research paper on how vitamin C helps you. We're going to start with vitamin D. Vitamin D is probably the easiest one of the group because your body makes vitamin D. If you just get out in the sun for 30 minutes at a time, maybe twice a day or an hour at a time, especially in Texas, even this time of the year, you might get burned. So you got to be a little careful. But the sunlight hits your skin and your body produces vitamin D. That's the simple way to get it, is just get some sun exposure. But if you're uncomfortable doing that, or if you're just lazy like I am sometimes about other things, go to the grocery store and buy vitamin D supplements. 1,000 milligrams, 2,000 milligrams. It comes in both. I started out at the beginning of all this craziness taking the 1,000, and I switched to the 2,000. They're a little gel cap about that big, easy to swallow. You're not going to notice anything different in your body, but it does boost your immune system. You can take the supplements, like I said. Here's a couple of other ways I looked up. You can take cod liver oil. Boy, we haven't heard about that one since the 60s, but that used to be in every mother's deal. They made us, when we were little kids, take a teaspoon or a tablespoonful of cod liver oil every night. Fatty fish like tuna, mackerel, salmon, those all are high in vitamin D. There are fortified foods. If you go to the grocery store and look in the milk section, it'll say vitamin D added. Orange juices will say vitamin D added. Soy milk, cereals, a lot of them will say vitamin D added. So it's kind of artificially done, but hey, it's enough to get the job done. Cheeses are high in vitamin D, so make yourself a charcuterie board, go to town. And egg yolks are also high in vitamin D. So there are some easy ways that you can get vitamin D exposure. Again, the simplest way is just buy the 2,000 milligram supplements and take them. Comes in a little bottle about like that. So the next one of my faves, vitamin C. I love to talk about vitamin C. Vitamin D is fat soluble. Vitamin C is water soluble. So they're different. Vitamin C doesn't stick around in your body as well as vitamin D does. If you ever pop one of those little gel caps open, if you buy the supplements of vitamin D, it's oily. It's like gooey on your fingers. Vitamin C is runny. That's why it goes well in orange juice. Vitamin C can be increased in your body as much as you want. If you're a smoker, you should be taking 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. And that sounds like a lot. They sell it, I think usually the biggest capsules you can get is 1,000 milligrams. But if you've been exposed to somebody with coronavirus, if you're feeling sick, it's flu season, there's people running around with runny noses, coughs, and all that stuff, take up to 4,000 milligrams. The only way that you know that you've overdosed on vitamin C is you get the runs. You'll get diarrhea. So just back off. But that's what Dr. Cheraskin used to teach us every year when he talked about vitamin C, his favorite subject. He said, the way you find out how much you need is every day increase it by 1,000 milligrams. Start with 1,000, increase it by 1,000 milligrams every day. Somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000, you're likely to start getting the runs. Back it off 1,000 milligrams, and that's your magic number until somewhere out in the future. But that's where your body needs it right now. So kind of a quickie little test of how much vitamin C should you take. There's your answer. The other ways you can get it is in guava fruit. We've got guava, and it says vitamin C right there on the bottom. That's the kiwis. Kiwis, the next one on the list, from New Zealand. So bell peppers. You can get vitamin C in bell peppers, and of course, good old Sunshine State oranges. Strawberries also are high in vitamin C. Papayas, broccoli. Oh, President George H.W. Bush would like that. He always said he hated broccoli. Tomatoes, snow peas, and kale. Some really tasty items there. But vitamin C has better tasting stuff than vitamin D if you're trying to get it the natural way. Now, let's go to zinc. Zinc is one of my favorite subjects. Initially, I didn't understand why zinc. And you don't need much, like 10 to 15 micrograms, I think it's measured in, but you can get it at the store. It's a little bitty tablet, and you don't need much. But zinc, its important function is, and this gets into a little controversial territory, but the thing about ivermectin and azithromycin was that if you added zinc with them, and most everybody that was big on those two antiviral drugs or antiparasitic drugs, one's an anti-malaria drug. I took it before I went to Honduras 2 different times back in the early 90s. The reason they tell you to take zinc along with it is because those cannot get into your cells unless there's zinc in your system too. The zinc makes those molecules able to pass through the cell wall, which is a lipid or a fat wall, and so they're zinc ionophores. So they wouldn't do you any good. And a lot of the studies that they did in the hospitals, A, people were already really, really sick, and B, they didn't add zinc to it. So taking ivermectin or azithromycin when you don't have enough zinc in your system, it's not going to get into your cells. So it's not going to do any good. And it's the same with a lot of other proteins that help your immune system. Zinc helps them get from your bloodstream into the cells. And your body's smart enough, without you having to think about it, your body knows which cells need it at what times, and it pulls it out of the bloodstream. But it can't do it if you don't have zinc in your system. So take your zinc. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. 2 natural foods that have zinc in them. Beef jerky. You Texans will like that one. Beef jerky. Doesn't matter which brand or what flavor. Pumpkin seeds, another great source of zinc. But you have to eat a lot of pumpkin seeds to get enough zinc to really make a difference. Some meats have zinc in them. All shellfish have zinc in them. And then all the beans and legumes like lentils, black beans, pinto beans, they all have zinc in them. But you'd have to eat a whole lot of it to get enough zinc. It's easier to just buy the supplements at the grocery store and take a little tablet every day. It's not going to hurt you, and it might save your life. So Tip of the day, I always do a health tip. Your tip for the day is get enough sleep. 7 to 9 hours. Some people gotta have 9 hours. Some people, like me, can function on less than 7 and do just fine. But 8 is the magic number that everybody always uses. Get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. And because it's been proven with other studies that I've mentioned before in these Wisdom Wednesdays, if you're not getting enough sleep, it affects your whole system. It affects your mood, your digestive system. It affects your immune system for sure. So we're talking today about boosting your immune system. Our motto for the month, I forgot that at the beginning, we do a motto every year. And this month it is jumpstart your immune system. So we're going to be talking the rest of the month about ways you can jumpstart your body and your immune processes. So I'll see you next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday. In the meantime, stay safe and stay healthy.